Should be a drop somewhere around here. Another notice. Drops must be completed and all runners to safety before the next predicted flood.
This confirms they have a way to predict the floods, and some way to stay safe.
Let's stay focused on our runners for now.
Should be a drop somewhere around here. Let's see. Supplies. That's good. More orders. Huh.
What's up?
Drops will be assigned to specific teams and tracked individually to deal with recent concerns.
It's boss talk for we're watching you because someone had their hand in the cookie jar. That's all of them.
3 supply drops. Not a lot of answers.
I believe I can help with that.
everyone hard. Still, what a view. See if we can find a registry of Maker's sigils. This looks like some kind of evacuation plan. Old. Probably from before the surge. Maybe I'm consulting it. Tables with assets listed. Looks like a tabulation of supply levels. Too new to be from before the surge. According to these dates, they stayed in Nephron for years afterwards. Just some birth records. Surprisingly detailed.
Invaluable. We'll have to make sure Lane adds them to our archive later.
Here we go. Sigils. Ah, found it. Our creator is listed here as Lucia de Crassus. 2 registered workshops, both council approved for dangerous materials. She must have had some pull before the surge. One is here in the city, And the other, let's see. I've been there. That frozen town out in Dredger's Mire. Better wear something warm.
I think it's important we run this one down, Bryn. The water clock is dripping.
A lot of damage this high up. Tangles, as far as the eye can see. The record said this place was registered to our enchantress of interest, Lucia. It sure doesn't look like a saboteur or smuggler's den. On the workings of Archons by L. de Crassus. Seems promising. Dom?
Certainly topical. Probably not enough to go on by itself, though. Still significant.
Yes, and if the R is with the numbers of false increment that just indicates spaces. Ah!
Got it?
Yes. I'll translate all that we have and we can discuss it with Casmin.
We'll be reading saucy Enclave Elite diaries around the campfire before long. Oh, Milady Forsythia! Not right here on the enchanting table.
The Enclave still has so much to offer. I don't think I'll ever tire of it.
Almost makes sense to stay a while.
Until our next adventure.
Well, Codebreakers, how are we feeling?
Satisfied. We have enjoyed reasonable success.
That's Lane's way of saying they crushed it.
Notes being passed between a brother and sister, quite candid, and dissatisfied. In particular with their boss, who they refer to as the Grumple.
The Grumpole?
A Renlund myth, where ill-behaved children would be gathered up in a sack and tossed into the river to drown at the end of the year.
Bye.
The Grumple, yes. Renlund fables prominently feature drowning as a punishment for children. The myth has fallen out of favor in recent decades, though. Ren society is less forgiving of flights of fancy.
The Grumpole. Really?
Really.
Moving swiftly on. What else did the drop say?
Remember that ominous note about tracking individually in specific teams?
From the context provided by our hauler, we now know a significant number of Hearthsiders survived the surge.
But only just surviving. They relied on the runner-hauler teams. But supplies consistently went missing. There is also a sense that the Enclave was getting increasingly dangerous for the Scouts.
The floods, of course.
With supplies running thin, the supply teams were falling under suspicion of stealing.
This pair responded with the entirely reasonable, if exhausting, plan of overperforming.
I've done that job, Lane. Sometimes you just need to prove the ass in charge wrong.
Indeed. They collected a cache of rare items they were planning to turn in when they felt its size and value would erase any suspicion.
Do we know if they turned it in?
No, but we know what it was. Or is.
And that's where I come in.
Sola seems pretty pleased with the upgrades to her forge. I think she might want to thank you, Bryn.
We will never replace it all. How could I have been so careless?
Not to complain, but there's actually too much magic out here.
Like a thick fog when it really settles in.
That aerolith can influence the weather. Almost certainly why things are frozen over.
Malfunctioning, then.
Indisputably. The ice buildup must be causing a cyclical localized reaction.
Sure. I'll take care of it.
Good idea. Swampy environs and intense cold is bad even for Enclave parchment. Best to lower the risk.
There. Already warming up. Hope I didn't damage the priceless artifact too much.
Can't make an omelette, as they say.
A lot of notes here. Water damage from the cold and melt, though. Let's see. Materials. Huh. That's how you visualize a pattern. Lots of marginal notes. These have to be from Lucia. Ah. She mentions a flood in the later passages.
Sev and I will look at these together with her book then. See what we can learn in context. As Aurea says, candle is burning on our flood problem.
If I pick up any more of these, I'll have to spend an entire day scrubbing the ink off my hands. Anyway, this should be enough of everything for Lane. I've brought you a bag full of what looks like Arthur's breakfast.
The ink caps and sprigs of Diane's chorus. Lovely. And Aurea didn't have any problems with Watcher's Wisp.
She noticed a pretty immediate improvement. Seems like it worked a treat.
Wonderful. I'll keep on producing the solution for her then. Another project on my to-do list. How delightful.
We're not overloading you, are we?
quite the opposite. If I only had one thing to think about, I'd be tearing my hair out in frustration. This suits me. For example, since this began, I've been thinking about what else I could do with those glowing plants you collected. Perhaps I could mix up glow-in-the-dark ink, for example. My focus is on utility, though. And one must ask, would glow-in-the-dark ink be helpful? What do you think?
Perhaps it could be used to make maps that you can read by starlight.
I don't know. I read all of my research materials by lantern light, so I don't know if it would be especially useful to have glowing maps.
If it were up to me, all my maps would glow in the dark. But I use them differently than you do.
Oh, of course. I hadn't considered that perspective at all. Perhaps I should try researching in the dark to better understand how you operate.
I don't think you'd make much of a dent in your workload. But sometimes it's nice to sit in the dark with only your thoughts. It's worth a shot.
Very true. After all, the idea for enhancing Watcher's Wisp only came to me while I was staring at a tree.
A tree?
Upon further reflection, I don't think I could possibly make that make sense to you. My point is, as you suggested, idle thought can indeed yield wonderful dividends in inspiration. Nevertheless, I will keep you abreast of any developments, though I think this project may fall by the wayside in favor of more pressing concerns for now.
Absolutely. Do you need anything else? If not, I'll leave you to it.
Not right now. Thank you for your help.
Anytime. Any luck with the materials we gathered from Lucia's workshops?
Yes. I'll let Sev fill you in.
We started with the book, which was painfully dry and highly theoretical.
Unsurprising. The Enclave was notoriously tight-lipped about the construction of the arcs.
The book was still useful, as it contained a number of craft-specific terms, shorthands and annotations, all critical. Referencing the book clarified the notes.
Without it, they bordered on deranged rant, especially at the end.
Sort of a window into her thinking.
We suspect Lucia spent a long time in isolation while working on these.
She covered many topics, but the most prominent was her work into the Flood.
Who exactly was Lucia? It seems like she had a lot going on.
Brilliant, but disturbed. She harbored a severe hatred of Enclave leadership, bordering on obsession.
Reams of fiercely colorful text, just to say some very rude things, especially about the Eye, their leader.
She was also, at one point, one of the most respected enchanters in the Enclave. She worked on something she refused to name, but was clearly of deep significance to the Enclave itself. Called it the source of all our problems.
Sadly, she only danced around that subject, and never offered details.
We know the Hearthsiders spent years working in Denevron after the Surge. Why do we think Lucia ended up so far from the capital?
It's evident she disagreed with the leaders of the Enclave and gathered others around her who agreed. There's talk of several meetings taking place in the Mire, most likely to be away from prying eyes.
Called her group the Verdant Minds. Very planty.
I like it. It's poetic.
Her workshop was a little brisk, even for my tastes. Any idea why?
She was fascinated with Enclave technology, specifically the dismantling, disruption, and repurposing of it.
She was experimenting with aeroliths, the massive enchanted stones that control the Enclave's weather. When the effect is accidentally concentrated, it can be quite intense. We suspect she was experimenting with the aerolith in relation to the floods. she predicted their start.
How do those devices I found with her mark on them tie into all of this?
In her final notes, her obsession shifted from the Enclave's leadership to the miasma flood. She was determined to find a way to stop it. On one hand, she looked to the aeroliths as a mitigation. Could they repel the miasma?
In the end, her answer was no. And so she turned to disruption. We think the arcs were tests. Could she shut them down?
And if so, could she shut down something larger?
She was clearly successful at least once. Maybe twice if we count the one outside the Veil.
Indeed, and when we're doing more general questions, that is what we must talk about.
All intriguing information. But we should focus on the flood. Does she have an answer for us?
Partially. This is the design.
Her research led her to one conclusion: to stop the floods. She needed to disrupt a barrier of some sort. The frustrating thing is that she never explains what barrier or where it could be found.
She assumed, unfortunately, that anyone else reading it would know what she was talking about.
Her design is detailed and specific. The device it would create inverts the flow of magic in enchanted objects, disrupting them for a time.
We think the devices we found on the Arks were prototypes, small experiments to determine efficacy and duration.
So what's the catch? If the floods are still happening, clearly she didn't build one.
Lucia's thimble, as she calls it, requires some highly specialized components. It has to withstand considerable magical flow, far more than what's produced by an arc.
It's like how mass scales exponentially. Just because you can build a scale model of an aqueduct doesn't mean the real thing can support its own weight.
If, and it is a very big if, we could find those components, we could construct Lucia's thimble. We have the expertise.
Give me a solid description, and we'll be rolling in parts, Dum.
I'll notify Casman to put an extension on the caravan. The other thing we'll need is a source of magical flame. Solar's mantle won't be enough by itself.
I can handle that part easily. Okay, so we have clear next steps. Just one more thing. What happened to Lucia?
The flood. Our best guess, at any rate. There's no sign of her.